Thank you for your showing up. Thank you for being here in my community, in your community, and yeah, I said I was going to take this off, didn't I? It just feels really good. So, without further ado, just to add on to what everybody else has said, because there's been a lot of amazing speakers, and we want to thank you all. So, this idea for a prayer walk came about from one of my many conversations, as Andy told you, that I had. My brother-in-law expressed a genuine interest to learn about me and my background, being raised in and now living in a predominantly white community as a black man. I told him about some pretty hurtful personal experiences with people I thought were my friends. I gave him some personal stats on how many times I've been wrongfully pulled over. I even told him about the time I was reported as a suspicious driver while I was on duty for the Lima ambulance. I've got stories that I could share about relationships ending because the family didn't approve that I was black, or being called effing N-word. I decided I'm not going to say it. Just walking my kayak to the lake. I've experienced lots of painful and at times very scary and threatening situations that I won't continue talking about because this isn't why we're here today. It's these type of situations, I will tell you that it's these type of situations that have taught me, and Bethany, you've taught me, you're continually teaching me, that I have to lead with love or else I will hate right back.
Yes.
Thessalonians 1:3, we remember before our God and Father your work produced by faith, your labor prompted by love, and your endurance inspired by hope in our Lord Jesus Christ. Andy and I continued to talk. We talked for hours. I left the conversation energized and at times feeling as though we could really change the world. But of course, that's not something we alone are capable of. The conversation flowed organically. But what we came back to was that in these divisive times, even while some are grieving a great loss, and authority and those governed are at war with one another, there is still hope. I have a hope because of you, my brothers and sisters in love. You're all here today because, like me, you've made the decision to no longer accept a complacent place in society. We've come to the conclusion that if we are all actually created in the image of God, then actively loving one another is our only option. Matthew 22:34-40. Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like this: love your neighbor as yourself. All of the law of the prophets hang on these two commandments." Andy and I agreed that we had some pretty great ideas to change the world, but maybe our clever plans would all fall short if we didn't understand that without God behind it all, we had nothing.
Right.
If we didn't first surrender this fight to God. Because after all, this isn't ours to fight. Ephesians 6:12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms.
In high places, yes.
We decided, Andy and I decided, and Bethany and Vicky, we decided that the best bet for success was to bring the community together in unity and prayer, trusting in our ultimate change maker. We thank everyone for coming out today, and the speakers. My hope is that these guest speakers and leaders have pushed us all to be a little less comfortable, less complacent, and to seek out ways to love and stand up for our neighbor. The last verse, John 16:33, I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but take heart, I have overcome the world. So thank you guys.
All right, we're going to close this in prayer this morning. If you're not standing already, would you stand with me now as we close?